It opposes. Thank you.
Call Colin King.
It's a pleasure to speak to this bill. It is a bill whose time has come because it confronts an issue that is really at the heart of what New Zealand stands for. It's about partnership, and that's the one comment that I haven't heard in this debate, apart from on this side of the House, that it is about partnership. It's partnering the custodial aspects of the land between the Crown and those families that through history have been able to eke out an existence, whether it's trying times or good times. They've had to live in isolation. And I just want to stress that point, that it is very much about partnership, and this government is very aware that there needs to be a balance around how this is approached. And we have the Minaret case before the Land Tribunal and such things to base that on. I just want to take exception with the Labour speaker who spoke first there about arbitrary figures. There's nothing arbitrary about the economic service run by Rob Davison and the science that they apply to that system of working out what classes of land can produce and what stock values are worth. So I would just like that put on record that Rob Davison is an authority and his team of within the economic service of beef and lamb, and I'm quite confident that they will be able to give the Director-General of Land some very good, accurate information on what the carrying capacities should be on those properties and what their opportunity of economic generation will be. I'd also like to just touch on, Mr Speaker, the point of just how damaged that partnership became under the Labour government. It was completely destroyed, and I just want to point to one particular case. When we talk about these pastoral leases, we are talking about a bundle of rights that the landowner or the leasee holds, and the ownership of the Crown. At St James, if you have a willing seller and a willing buyer, you've got a good balanced market. But it drove the price up. The Labour government drove the price up to $43 million on St James to purchase a leasee right of residence and dwelling on a property that only ran under the lease agreement some 8,000 stock units. And that just sort of highlights the hypocrisy now that is surrounding this debate, because what we've confronted with in St James is a property with great iconic values but becoming weed infested, that is actually going to cost the taxpayer far more than we are hearing about on the other side of the House about transfer of wealth. We saw the same thing happening at Birchwood, stratospheric prices for a farm that was running a smaller number of stock units. So really what has happened here is ideology gone mad, and we really do need to do our utmost to partner these families in these rural communities. We talk about high country. They've been surrendering the high country in these properties for years upon years, until a stage now where it would be nearly an exaggeration to call these leases high country leases, because they've had to surrender them. So, Mr Speaker, this is a bill that addresses a very emotional subject. It is one in my area of Marlborough where it's pretty hard to see any particular outstanding vistas. You've got rabbits, you've got Heraceium, you've got remoteness, you've got access to and from your property at a very, very substandard rate. And here we are having a conversation about transferring wealth. These people need to be congratulated. They are the backbone of a country that has at the present got a fair amount of muscle, and I'm delighted to see that this government has had the courage to address this situation. Otherwise we'll be bogged down with tribunal upon tribunal hearing the claims for rents that are set in relationship to the income of the property. So, Mr. Speaker, I am delighted to support this bill, and I look forward to seeing those farmers being there for another 150 years. Thank you very much.
The Honourable David Parker.
I think the Minister